are listening to Next Level Thinking on St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9.
So listeners, welcome back. Before the break, we did a brief recap of all the topics of Season 1 of Next Level Thinking last year. Frustrated that you missed the season? Make yourself a cup of tea, find the episodes online, and experience some next level thinking later on though. First, in today's episode, we're talking about everyday frustration. What gets us frustrated?
A lot.
Tell me, what gets you frustrated?
Well, actually, it can start right after you wake up. I mean, I'm a snoozer.
Okay.
So, yeah, my alarm clock goes off. That's the first frustration. It goes off.
That by itself, right?
Yeah. So I snooze and it goes off again. And again, I snooze. So I think about 3 times I snooze.
You snooze, you lose. Yeah, that's what they say, right?
Yeah. You get actually more tired when snoozing, I think, than getting up right away.
Yeah, it's one of the habits of proactive people is saying, do not snooze.
Right.
Yeah. And
So
I wish I could be like that.
So that snoozing, that frustrates you.
It's frustrating me. But I can imagine if your other half, and luckily my other half, he gets out of bed like in no time.
Okay.
So he's out of bed already when I'm snoozing. But if he's still in bed, I mean, that must be frustrating if you don't need to get up that early.
And someone next to you is snoozing.
Yeah.
I know that experience. That's pretty frustrating when you hear buzz and the person next to you who is snoozing doesn't wake up as fast as you do.
No, you hear it already and like, bzz, 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 bzz.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is frustration.
Yeah, bad start of the day.
Bad start of the day. Yeah.
That's just a small thing, huh? So you wake up and then what? What's the first thing you do? Get your coffee?
Coffee for sure.
No, I have to wake up, walk around a little bit, go to the bathroom.
You got time for that?
Well, so that's why I hate to snooze and I get frustrated, but I need all that time. I don't, but I need it. Yeah.
So then I make my cup of coffee in the morning and brewing my coffee, the smell of the coffee, it's waking you up like, this is going to be a good morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I open the fridge because I drink my coffee milk and there's no milk.
Oh gosh.
Those kind of, just the small frustrations in the morning. That if your day starts like that, I can imagine I'm going to get in my car, go on the road.
And you will see it always is busy then. Those moments when you're rushing and then there's somebody in front of you going slow.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And then you don't keep your distance, so you're going to miss out on that pothole.
Yep.
Oh.
Added frustration.
Ow.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So if you arrive at your job like that, having that kind of morning, what's that gonna do to the vibe on the work floor?
Well, for me, that would be added with I come at work late and then I miss my opportunity to get my Johnny cake at work. So that makes me frustrated because I have to order it before 8:30, and then when I'm late, I can't anymore. So then it's just end of the day for me.
Oh, so you have to start your day actually at work and it's already like downhill. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you see it on the work floor, Everybody starts their morning in a different way. You see the people that had a really good morning and the people that didn't.
Right.
Because they express it on the work floor.
How do you express it? What would you do?
How do I express it? I think I'm a person that would be more quiet in the beginning.
Right.
Like take it all in, fill that bucket.
Yeah, you will see my non-verbal behavior. I would be a little bit more grumpy, looking a little bit more like tensed or,
Yeah.
You know, that frown.
Yeah, I think I'm like you, Caroline. You would see it on my face immediately. I think everyone knows me for always smiling, but then there's no smile to be found on my face.
Or like a forced smile. Like,
Yeah, good morning to you too.
Yeah. Let me go into my office straight there and let me not see anyone. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it does have an effect on our day. It's something so small.
Yeah. And if I if I stay in that vibe, that frustration vibe, let's call it that, then I can see the impact it has on my functioning in my job. Like, I'm opening my email and I see all those emails coming in and I'm thinking about 10 things at the same time. So my mind is shattered in a way.
Right.
So when I notice that, I know that I need to, get back on my feet, get
take
an
a
overview.
step back.
Yeah.
You know, actually, when I sometimes when I'm a little bit late, I actually take some time. It sounds strange, but if I start to rush, if I start going too fast, I know my whole day is going to be, not going to work out. So I need to take a moment just to breathe and, okay, I'm late, but I'm first going to drink my cup of coffee and then we go.
Okay. And that works.
That works most of the time.
Okay. I'm often, when that frustration kicks in, it's hard for me to target it. Like, I know that I'm frustrated, but it's hard for me to get over it at that point because every little thing is frustrating. Like, normally, let me think, when the dishes haven't been done the night before, I'm like, okay, it's fine. You know, I'll just wash a cup in the morning and I'll drink my tea. But if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I'm frustrated and I see the dishes aren't done again the night before, then I feel like a dragon comes out. And normally that's not me, but frustration kind of makes you respond in a different way. Everything is heightened.
Yes.
Kind of. So I think it's great that you were able to kind of take that breather.
Yeah,
sometimes. Sometimes. I can have that dragon sometimes too, I must say.
Spitfire.
Yes, exactly.
So what is frustration then? How would you explain what frustration is?
Officially, what the psychologists say, that it's a feeling of being upset, feeling annoyed, especially when you do not succeed to change or achieve something. So it's rooted in disappointment. And when you cannot get what you want or what you're aiming for, you get that feeling and it's bubbling up inside of you. You can feel, especially with physical sensations, that your jaw is tensed.
Okay.
Your hands becomes like fists, and the tension just rises in your body.
Yeah.
Your lips are more pressed upon each other, and your eyes become smaller. For example, you know, the nonverbal signs that we talked about before.
Right.
So it's something physical and emotional that rises.
I like how you say it kind of bubbles up inside you, because I recognize that feeling, that I just feel it like kind of coming from the pit of my stomach, bubbling up to my chest.
Yeah, grumbling up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's right there. And I feel that's also the feeling where you feel you're going to respond in the wrong way. You're like, oh, it's right there. You want to kind of let it out, that frustration, I guess.
Yeah, why do we have it, that frustration? Yeah, it's there. Something biologically seen also, it gives us fuel. It makes us want to change something. It makes us want to do something.
Right.
So that's why we get into the action modus.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's good.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing then.
Not per se, if you really have to.
Yeah, what I mentioned in before the break, that biologically we look out for danger. And in a way, when we don't achieve something, that could be seen as danger as well. Okay. So that situation in itself gives a signal to your brain, and your brain says like, okay, so we now need to prepare to react to that danger. And preparing your body for danger, you need to be strong to fight the danger or to get out of there or whatever. So that is why we have those physical reactions as well.
Yeah, then the brain sends those signals to part that needs to react. So the muscle tension, you know, that needs energy. So there's less energy left over for the part of our brain where we think clearly. So that's also the thing. We do not think clearly when we're very frustrated. We think we do, but we don't.
And when we react to that frustration immediately, there is a possibility that you will regret how you reacted. Right?
Exactly. Well, I kind of know a metaphor for that. I don't know if you guys heard from the flip your lid. Right. That moment where you have 3 parts of your brain. You have the very primal part of your brain that's all the way inside. And over that, you have your emotional part. Let me put it like that. And over that, the big part of your brain is your critical thinking, your analytical thinking. And I think what you're explaining, Sana, it's that sometimes, you know, frustration happens and that critical cap, that part, the analytical part, kind of flips off. And it makes that emotional part exposed.
Yeah, you're flipping that part of the brain indeed.
Right.
Yeah, and then that emotional part of the brain, we call that the amygdala. That's the part of the brain that really controls our emotion being, our unconscious processes, and that gets into action.
Right.
And it just acts. It does what it feels.
It's not a choice that you make rationally.
Because we know how strong emotions can be. But often when we feel something emotionally, we have that practical side, that critical side, that analytical side, the rationale that can kind of put everything in perspective. But if that's kind of gone and we're only thinking with the amygdala, we're only thinking with that emotional part, yeah, we just have intense emotions that need to do whatever they feel at that point in time.
Yeah.
Right.
Indeed.
Wow.
Indeed.
So we have that. So we discussed about how, this makes us feel, how frustration kind of tends to have our emotions take the lead instead of our analytical part. And we talked about, how your emotions lead. But do you ever do something out of frustration that you regret because that emotion leads?
Yes. We got examples like that, right? Everybody, we're human. So, of course, we got examples like that. So, for example, when you had a long day, everything went wrong, like in the beginning that we said about the coffee and, the pothole, and, you were able to have everything in control at work, and then you come home and then you start to react a little bit snippy to your loved one who asked, why did you not take out the trash? That was just the last drop. And your loved one did not deserve that attitude at that moment, but it was just because at that moment it was the last part before you flip that lid.
Yeah.
And shortly afterwards, you realize when you are taking the trash outside, hopefully, that you shouldn't have acted that way.
Right.
And then
taking out that trash is not, in that situation, is not in proportion to your response.
Exactly.
Frustration.
No, that is that emotion that at that point takes the lead. That bubbling, what we just said, for me, that's from the pit of my stomach coming up to my chest, and it just bubbles over.
Yeah.
Uncontrollably. And I actually I didn't want to say it like that afterwards. I do feel bad when that happens.
Talking about emotions, by the way, there's a really nice movie that explains in a very easy manner for adults and for children how emotion work and how they can sometimes take over control. It's about a child and then their emotions are characters too. And it's angry, I think happiness, anxiety, and fear. And they are characters that you can follow in the movie as well. And it's called Inside Out. I think you can find it on the channel where all the TV shows and series you can watch and chill.
Without commercials.
Exactly. So good one to look up.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie. I saw it, and it is a great movie to just show and explain how emotions work and how you express yourself. So there are different forms, of course, on how you can express yourself. And one example is complaining, right?
Yeah.
Who complains? I complain.
Yeah, sometimes.
I tend to complain. When I feel like, oh gosh, it's too much, then I complain. I think we're running over our time now, right? And it's also like kind of annoying. So people probably complaining that it's taking too long and that we're talking too long about our emotions and stuff. So let's just stop right here and we'll continue after the break.
All right.
More about frustration.
Next level thinking.